Alright, Nawas here, stress, anger management, and body language specialist, back to analyze another body language video. Now, in this clip, we have Vice President JD Vance addressing troops, and he specifically mentions his dislike for a particular meat. Now, Vice President JD Vance has a very special way in which he puts across points very sternly without raising his voice too much. His usual speaking volume and tone is already more or less on the firm side. However, whenever he wants to bring it up a notch to show others that he's a little bit annoyed, frustrated, agitated, the volume doesn't blast out like others do. For example, it doesn't go up to a double level or triple level volume, but there's a subtle increase in volume. Not much is a subtle one, but his gesture changes to indicate his displeasure. Let's have a look at how he puts his points across, especially when he mentions his dislike for this particular holiday delicacy. Yeah, let's have a look.
What we celebrate tomorrow, that is a uniquely American thing. That's why, for example, we have, turkey.
That's why we have turkey. Open palm gesture, honesty, sincerity. Even if you're not being honest and sincere, when you have your open palm gesture, you come across as sincere and honest. Remember, use open palm gesture. American holiday.
Think about turkey. Who really likes, be honest with yourselves, who really likes turkey?
Remember, he asked the question.
You're all full of shit. Everybody who raised your hands.
Everybody who raised your hands, you're full of cheep. That's where he has that pointer. No more open palm gesture. Pointing to emphasize a point that you guys are full of yeah, you guys are full of shit. You're not telling the truth. You actually dislike turkey, but you're just following tradition. He bends down a little bit, tilts his head slightly, emphasize a point. Remember, you can always emphasize a point using open palm gesture to come across as more sincere and honest. But you want to put your point across firmly. It can come across as rude, so be very careful not to point, but instead using open palm gesture. Let's carry on with the analysis.
I know. Think about it. And here's how I know that every single one of you who raised your hand is lying to me. How many times do you roast an 18-pound turkey just randomly? Just, a nice summer afternoon.
How many times a year do you roast an 80-pound turkey randomly? Open palm gesture to emphasize a point. Randomly, outward, right? You want to emphasize a point randomly, suddenly, seasonally. Let's carry on.
Go get an 18-pound turkey. Nobody does it because turkey doesn't actually taste that good. But on Thanksgiving, on the most American holiday, I got a fan over here. On the most American holiday, we're going to cook a turkey, by God, because that's what Americans do. We cook this gigantic American bird.
Gigantic American bird. So you see, he has a double hands up to emphasize the size of the turkey. So when you want to emphasize the size of a particular task, a challenge, or even an item, you put out your hands to really showcase the size, the physical size of it, to emphasize the point, so that viewers who are watching you can picture that particular size of the task or problem, or even something physical, tangible. 18-pound turkey, oh, huge. A 20-foot ladder, whatever that you are trying to emphasize. Let's carry on.
And we do all kinds of crazy things to make it taste good. I talked to a soldier today who she said she's going to deep fry a turkey, and I'm actually going to deep fry a turkey myself tomorrow. And look, here's the thing. If you've got to deep fry something
Look, here's the thing. Again, open palm gesture, trying to come across as insincere, honest. Look, this is the way I do it. I'm going to deep fry my turkey as well. Look, this is what I'm going to tell you about deep frying and the taste of turkey. Let's see what he says about
make it taste good, it probably isn't that good. That's a pretty good rule of thumb when it comes to food. Chicken is good all the time. Chicken is good when you deep fry it, but it's also good outside of it. But here's the thing about Thanksgiving. It is so American because at the heart of it is the spirit of gratitude.
That's,
and I know that
this is a very good point. Okay, when you are trying to make others see your point of view and show that you're really heartfelt in what you're saying, you really point to your chest, like what he did. He mentions, you know, you are grateful for what you have. It's Thanksgiving. So whatever you have on your table, whoever you are sharing it with, your loved ones, we have to be grateful. So you point to your chest, your heart, hands over your heart. People look at you and you come across as extremely sincere, polite, really heartfelt. Let's have a look at that once again.
It is so American because at the heart of it is the spirit of gratitude. And I know that every single one of you has something tomorrow to be very thankful for and to be grateful for.
See? Every one of you have something to be thankful and grateful for. So you end your talk or somewhere towards the end, something impactful that others can resonate with, sharing good moments with your loved ones. So remember, open palm gesture, sincerity, pointing to your heart.